At the escalator, arrivals. Lower level. Hey! Stop it!
You're jumping?
Knock it off!
Welcome back to Juicy Reel, the place where the tea is always fresh, the drama is never ending, and the scandals hit harder than a plot twist in your favorite series. Today's chaos, blood on the escalator. Yes, you heard that right. Jim Jones.
Hey! Stop it!
You're jumping?
Knock it off! Knock it off!
Harlem's own El Capo found himself in the middle of a wild airport showdown at Fort Lauderdale.
Sit your ass
wanna
down.
sit there.
Okay, good.
They're jumping me!
Sit down. Yo, sit down. Sit your...
Hollywood International, and the footage is absolutely insane. Fists flying.
Excuse me. Are you okay?
He doesn't know
Are
yet.
you okay?
And my left leg is
Okay,
killing me.
we're gonna get an ambulance for you.
Flying, security losing control, and Jim straight up flipping a dude with a move that looked ripped right out of WWE. But here's the kicker. People are saying this wasn't just some random scuffle with strangers. Oh no.
The other guy got up, put his hands on me. So don't touch me. Also. Don't touch my arm. Heard? I grabbed him. So don't touch me. Pilot called him, walked out, asked me if I need help. I told him the man put his hands on me, but I want to leave.
Word online is that these two men weren't just unlucky travelers, they were sent. And now fans are convinced Jim may have accidentally let slip exactly who's behind this supposed setup. The timing, too perfect. The energy, way too personal. This wasn't no casual bump on the escalator. This looked like a hit gone sloppy. And it gets even juicier. 50 Cent wasted no time clowning Jim the very next day. Dame Dash decided to dig up old dirt. Kanye West's name got thrown right back into the mess, and Jim himself started dropping cryptic shots about snitches and industry snakes. The streets are buzzing because this looks less like a fight and more like a spark for a major rap war brewing behind the scenes. Let's rewind for a second to what we actually know for sure. TMZ broke the story first. Jim was riding that escalator when two white men suddenly got all up in his space. No words, no warning. Seconds later, chaos. One clip shows Jim literally suplexing a guy down the escalator like it was a wrestling pay-per-view event. Blood spilled, cameras rolling, and the internet exploded with theories faster than you can refresh your feed. And trust me, this is just the beginning, because the fallout goes way beyond one airport brawl. The second dude wasn't about to just watch his buddy get slammed. He jumped right in, swinging wild and landing punches straight to Jim's head. The scene turned brutal fast. By the time security managed to separate everyone, both men were leaking, Jim was being restrained, and the entire terminal was frozen in shock. Travelers weren't even sure if they were watching a brawl or a live-action movie scene. That's how chaotic it got. Jim later spoke to TMZ and kept it real simple. I was minding my business. They got what they were looking for. Just like that, the whole ugly airport fight blew up into the hottest headline in hip-hop that week. Clips went viral in minutes, fan theories exploded, and suddenly everyone had a take on whether Jim was targeted or just unlucky. But here's the twist. Instead of laying low, Jim doubled down. The very next day, he hit the Miami nightlife scene looking untouched, smiling ear to ear on Instagram and telling fans, the show must go on. You heard? Pull up on me, you dig? We gon' have a celebration. Life is life. That's not the attitude of a man rattled by violence. That's a power move. Jim wanted the world to know he wasn't scared, he wasn't hiding, and if anything, he was ready for round two. Still, behind that cool smile, the whispers started spreading. Insiders claimed Jim was quietly pointing fingers, and the targets weren't random airport strangers. Nope, those fingers were aimed at rappers he's had real bad blood with for years, and you already know who couldn't resist inserting himself into the drama, 50 Cent. The day after the fight, Fifth popped out online, posting a clip of an old man in the gym with the caption that had everybody clowning Jim. The trolling was savage, but also strategic, because when 50 jumps in, the internet listens. 50 Cent wasted no time with his signature trolling. He posted that clip of an old man working out in the gym and captioned it, "Yo, the old man from the airport said he gonna see you, Jimmy. Stop thinking, sweet LOL classic 50, but here's where things get straight up messy." See, 50 and Jim's beef goes way back. We're talking G-Unit versus Dipset mixtape wars, years of shade, and then that bombshell moment in 2018 when Tekashi 6ix9ine snitched in court and name-dropped Jim as a 9 Trey Blood. Ever since, 50's been keeping his foot right on Jim's neck. So now fans are asking, was 50 just joking as usual, or was that caption a hint that he knows way more about this setup than he's letting on? A lot of people in the comments think it wasn't random at all. They swear 50's trolling lined up a little too perfectly, almost like he already knew who sent those guys at Jim. And if that's true, then this wasn't just comedy. This was 50 low-key flexing that he's in the loop. But the rabbit hole doesn't stop there, because out of nowhere, Dame Dash slid into the story. Just days before that airport chaos, Dame confirmed an old tale Cameron once shared. Jim allegedly tried to get him jumped at his own art gallery, right in front of Dame's woman. Dame didn't sugarcoat it either. He called it the most disrespectful thing I've seen. That's heavy. Now look at the timing. Fast forward, and Jim's the one getting jumped, humiliated in public, with cameras everywhere. The irony is almost too sharp. To some, it feels like karma finally circled back to collect. And if you think Dame Dash ain't smirking watching all this unfold, then you don't know Dame. He's the type to sit back, sip something smooth, and enjoy the chaos like it's a private screening. And just when you thought this saga couldn't drag in more names, boom, here comes Kanye. It gets crazier because just last year, Jim himself admitted that Kanye West tried to press him over money. According to Jim, Ye accused him of owing a cool $2 million and even tried to swing on him. Jim didn't hide it either. He posted online about the whole thing, clowning Kanye by saying Ye was ranting over a PDF file. The internet had a field day with that one, but it showed that their history is way more personal than people thought. Now here's where the speculation goes off the rails. Some insiders are whispering that Kanye's camp, or at least people who roll close to Ye, might have wanted to send Jim a little message. Sounds wild, right? But think about it. Kanye has been calling out rappers, producers, fashion houses, you name it, non-stop. Nothing feels too crazy anymore when it comes to Ye. If he thought Jim crossed him, would it really be shocking if folks in his orbit wanted to make a statement? Jim himself hasn't outright named names since the airport drama, but the man has been sliding in some cryptic shots. On Kai Cenat's stream, he dropped a line that caught fans' attention. If you don't got a job, go outside and act like you got a job, cause sitting inside never got nobody paid. But NBA Youngboy, at first, it sounded like a random throwaway joke, but the streets took it differently. Some fans think Jim was shading rappers who hide behind lawyers, paperwork, and snitches instead of facing their beef head on like real ones. And here's the kicker. Whispers claim that right after that brutal airport brawl, Jim confided in close friends about who he really thinks was behind it. And let's just say the names he dropped weren't strangers. Word on the street is Jim flat out told his people he knows exactly which rappers sent those goons. That single line flipped the internet upside down. Suddenly everyone's playing detective, asking the same question. Who is he talking about? Was it 50? Was it Kanye? Or maybe, just maybe, someone even closer to Dipset? The theories are flying, and the tension is thick. Here's why it matters. In hip-hop, the word snitch isn't just an insult, it's a death sentence for your credibility. And Jim's name has been tied to that word before, all thanks to Tekashi 6ix9ine. Back in court, Tekashi looked right at the jury and called Jim a 9 Trey Blood. That testimony lit up the culture with rumors that Jim dodged charges by cutting deals. Jim denied it all, swore he never folded, but let's be real. The stain stuck like glue. Fans never forgot. So now imagine if Jim really did pull security or cops aside after that airport fight and told them who was behind it. The internet's not gonna care about context, they'll just call it snitching, period. And once that label gets stapled to your name in this game, good luck shaking it off, because hip-hop fans and rivals hold on to that forever. But let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just any rapper we're talking about. Jim Jones is Harlem's El Capo, a veteran with roots in Dipset, Rockefeller, and straight Harlem street politics. When someone like him gets pressed at an airport, that's not random, that's a signal. It shows there are still people who want to test him, even in 2025. Now stack it all together. 50s trolling, Dame Dash grinning over karma, Kanye's bad blood, whispers of industry setups, and suddenly this whole thing stops looking like one sloppy airport fight. No. This is survival mode in a culture where beef never dies, where one wrong move doesn't just end careers, it can end lives. And here's where things get even scarier, because if Jim really does know who sent those hitters, then we're talking about a chess game that goes way deeper than airport fists. The industry is buzzing with talk that this wasn't just beef, it was a warning shot. A reminder that no matter how long you've been in the game, no one is untouchable. Think about it. Jim's been in the trenches for decades. He's survived mixtape wars, crew drama, even courtroom whispers. But to see him cornered on an escalator with cameras rolling and blood spilling, that's not just bad luck, that's humiliation on a worldwide stage. And for enemies, that's the real win. Not knocking you out, but making sure millions watch it happen. What's worse is how public the whole thing was. Airports are crawling with cops, TSA, and cell phones in every hand. Whoever sent those dudes knew Jim couldn't fight back without risking charges. It's the perfect trap. Either he swings and risks jail, or he freezes and looks weak. In that sense, the fight was never about fists. It was about reputation. Insiders say the talk in Harlem right now is heavy. Some are saying Jim needs to clap back. Others are saying he needs to chill before things spiral into something way darker. Because in hip-hop, when setups start happening, the next chapter usually ain't another Instagram post. It's retaliation, it's crews moving, and sometimes it's funerals. And don't forget, Jim's still tied to Dipset's legacy, to Harlem's history, to the streets that raised him. That means every move he makes gets magnified. If he looks soft, rivals eat it up. If he reacts too strong, law enforcement swoops in. Either way, the man's boxed in, and the world is watching. Back in Harlem, the whispers are non-stop. Word is spreading through the streets, and it ain't just about Jim anymore. It's about Dipset as a whole. See, when one soldier takes a hit, the whole crew feels it. And right now, the question echoing around barbershops and blocks is simple. Where's the response? Dipset built its name on flashy bravado, heavy bars, and Harlem pride. Cameron, Jules, Jimmy, they weren't just rappers, they were symbols of a whole era. But this airport mess paints a different picture. El Capo, a legend, getting pressed in public and walking away without throwing names. For some, that's strategy. For others, it looks shaky. And in the streets, appearances matter almost as much as reality. Some Harlem voices are already debating whether Dipset's shine has dimmed. This ain't the Jim we grew up on. One fan tweeted, pointing out how fast he went back to partying in Miami instead of clapping back. Others defend him, saying survival is the smartest move when the game is crawling with cops, cameras, and rivals waiting for him to slip. Either way, the debate's turning heated, and Dipset's reputation is on the line. Insiders close to the crew say Cameron's been quiet on purpose, refusing to feed the fire, but silence in hip-hop is dangerous. It lets rumors fill the gaps. Is Dipset fractured? Are they regrouping behind closed doors, or is everyone just letting Jim stand alone in this mess? The uncertainty is shaking fans who grew up worshiping their Harlem heroes. Because if Harlem starts thinking Dipset can be touched, then the whole brand takes a hit. And in this culture, legacy is everything. Right now, the streets aren't just gossiping about Jim's fight, they're questioning Dipset's throne itself. While Harlem debates loyalty and legacy, the industry is already cashing in on the drama. Rappers, bloggers, and label execs are all watching this unfold like it's the hottest reality show of the year. And the reactions? Pure chaos. Some rappers are openly laughing, reposting the airport clips with clown emojis and slick captions. To them, Jim getting pressed is proof that the old guard isn't untouchable anymore. New blood sees it as a chance to flex, to say the streets belong to them now. Others, though, are treating it like a cautionary tale. They're warning their own crews. If Jim Jones can get tested in an airport full of cameras, nobody's safe. Behind the scenes, label suits are nervous too. Jim might be a veteran, but his name still moves numbers. Controversy boosts streams. Yes, but it also makes partnerships messy. Nobody wants their brand linked to open beef that could spill into violence. That's why whispers say certain sponsors are already hitting pause, waiting to see how bad this gets before cutting ties or doubling down. And of course, the rivals are circling like sharks. 50's still clowning, Dame's still smirking, and Kanye's camp hasn't said a word. But silence, in this case, screams louder than words. Every rival who ever traded shots with Jim suddenly looks validated, like the universe just handed them receipts. And fans are eating it up, fueling timelines with speculation, memes, and conspiracy theories. In hip-hop, perception is power. And right now, the perception is that Jim's vulnerable. That alone makes him a bigger target than ever. Because once the wolves smell weakness, they don't back off. They move in for the kill. Fans can't agree on how to read this one. Some are hyped, saying Jim held his own, suplexing a man on an escalator like it was WrestleMania live in the terminal. Others are less impressed, arguing that just getting jumped in public at all shows weakness. In that split debate, it's got Jim's name trending nonstop, turning this into one of the hottest sagas online right now. But here's the scary part. Airport fights don't just go viral. They come with charges. Sources say Broward County officers are already reviewing every second of that footage. And depending on whether those two men decide to press charges, Jim could be looking at some real legal heat. This wasn't just a street brawl. This was on federal property, and that means way more eyes on the case. And if Jim takes it further, if he really doubles down and starts naming who sent those goons, that courtroom could flip into a full-blown circus. Because here's the thing, when the feds smell blood, they don't just stop at one incident, they start digging everywhere. And let's not forget, Jim's name has already been linked to 9 Trey before. Another high-profile case could drag all those whispers right back into the light, giving rivals and haters fresh ammo to use against him. So here's where we stand. Jim Jones just turned a bloody escalator scuffle into the wildest hip-hop mystery of the year. Was this really random strangers getting bold, or did rival rappers actually send those men to make a point? And if Jim really did whisper names behind closed doors, are we about to see a brand new snitch narrative attach itself to him forever? This is far from over. Not even close. The next chapter could mean arrests, lawsuits, or something even uglier. The rap game runs on drama, and this one's spiraling faster than anybody expected. So what do you think? Did Jim get set up by other rappers, or was it just bad luck on that escalator? Drop your theories in the comments. I'm locked in reading everything. And don't forget, hit that like, smash that subscribe, and stay tuned to Juicy Reel. Because trust me, the next twist in this story is coming. And it might shake the whole culture.